Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to do like I have a mask on my face. Welcome to Old School Quarantine. It's your boy, Sean Q, my partner, like always.
J. Roman.
Together we are OSP. And as you can see, if you are watching the video podcast, we have our lovely producer, the lady who makes everything happen, who keeps everything running, the one who keeps our strings together, Mrs. Veltria. Roman, say what's up to people.
Hello. I missed you guys. It's been a while.
It has been a hot minute. Was that your round of applause? Is that what that was?
Yes.
I always applaud my woman. Always.
So as you should. So as you can see, if you're watching the video, we are all in our different destinations. We are following the social distancing rules and guidelines and all that good stuff. We don't have masks on because we're in the house. And I mean, there's nobody breathing on me right now. I don't know about y'all. Like, you're at the office, you're at home, you're good. All right, no mask necessary. However, it would be kind of weird to do a whole podcast with our mask on.
You know, the other day I went, it was my sister's birthday. And so I took her donuts in the shape of a cake. And I had my mask on. And she had her door open only a little bit. It was very hard to sing happy birthday like this.
That's just weird.
It was. It really was.
Happy birthday to Veronica, by the way.
Happy birthday to Vicky.
Happy birthday to Vicky.
Happy birthday, Vicky.
Happy birthday. Wait, when is Valeria's coming? It doesn't matter. Happy birthday. They're devout listeners. My birthday's coming up. I think by the time this comes out, I know it'll be like 2 days before my birthday. I'm about to be old myself. Yeah. So, to all the April babies who had to stay in the house and couldn't have real parties, don't worry about it. All you could do is stack a little bit of that paper, save it for next year, and just go ham next year.
Turn up.
Right? That's my plan. My plan is, since this year is 39, it's not that big of a deal. It's like being 19 or turning 20. It don't really mean shit. But for 40, we're going big. We're going big. So while we were quarantined, I know one of the questions everybody keeps asking is, what's everybody watching? What are you guys watching while you're locked in the house? And what shows or movies are you into? And Jay Roman's grinning like an idiot because he can't wait to tell you what he's been watching. So start us off, Jay. What are you watching while you're on lockdown?
Well, sad to say, and maybe I should be a little ashamed, I have been a little bit more of a couch potato than I've meant to be. I keep telling myself, ooh, perfect day to work out, perfect day to do this, and then I get into some show, and I'm hooked.
That's it.
Check this out, though. And as soon as I saw this and started hearing it, I had to start writing it down. I'm going to ask you this right now. I'm gonna tell you the names of a few songs, and you tell me what movie you think it might be from. Here's the list. Here's the soundtrack to a movie I just saw. Motown Philly by, of course, Boyz II Men. Sound of the Police by KRS-One. Whoop, whoop. Check the Rhyme by Tribe Called Quest, if you remember. Check the Rhyme, y'all.
I'm trying to think what movie this is.
Okay. Running by the Far Side.
Wow.
Which, if I've mentioned before, is a song that when it used to come on in my car, I would drive 2 hours with the same song on because I love that song so much.
What the hell?
Back in the Day, remix by Ahmad.
Ooh. And
check out this other song. This isn't even the whole soundtrack. These are just the songs I noticed while the movie was playing. The other ones, I'm like, okay, I probably missed a couple. Colors by Ice-T. Colors. Now, that spans 30, 40, let me see, 30 years of music, 20 years really. But the movie's recent. And it's recent setting, too. Give me a guess. It has an Avenger in it. How about that?
I want to say... Now, when you say recent, you mean in the last 10 years, last 5 years?
Last 5.
Huh. I wouldn't say 21 Bridges, because I just recently saw that, and it was dope. And I don't know if the Russo brothers like hip-hop like that. So... Oh, I got it. Not a fucking clue. I have no idea what this movie is. What is it?
Here's the big surprise. Tag. You ever seen the movie Tag?
Yeah, I love the movie Tag.
It has all those songs. You weren't surprised by this recent movie that had all those classic hip-hop songs in it?
You know what's funny? Is that movie is so good that, I pay attention to the music, and I thought it was dope. I love the story of it enough and the comedy is one of those where, like, there's like a line, every other line is something funny.
Yeah.
So between Hannibal Buress and what's his name, the guy from New Girl, who's in Let's Be Cops, that dude is hilarious. Everybody in there has something funny to offer. So I probably missed that's how dope. Because it was kind of like the timeline was from when they were kids as they got older. So yeah, I probably skipped over that. Wow, I kind of want that soundtrack now.
I mean, there's other songs that are not rap songs, but
right.
Those are the ones I was like, why is this song? And I said it for almost every song. Why is this song in this movie? But it fit each scene as it happened. Right. It's like such a random movie for these great songs to be in. I would have loved the soundtrack just to have that stuff.
Wow, I didn't even know that. I love that movie. I think I want to own that movie. I mean, you don't own movies anymore. Now you just stream them and keep them streaming. And
you know what? You know what I loved about it? I love that Jeremy Renner got to play Hawkeye, but not be Hawkeye.
Yeah,
you know
right.
I mean? Like he did all these Hawkeye style things, but he wasn't Hawkeye. I loved it.
He was the Bourne guy, but funnier.
Yeah, there you go.
His variation of Bourne, but funnier. It was actually pretty funny. Have you seen it, Vel?
No.
Oh, it's really good. It's pretty interesting story. Oh, that's Ed Helms. I was trying to think of who the other guy was. It's Ed Helms. That's what makes it hilarious. You should check it out. It's actually pretty funny. I was forced and pushed onto the tracks.
You didn't do it. You didn't do it.
Awful shit.
You did it. Oh.
Tiger King bullshit. I was about to put out a thing that said, for all the people who told me to watch Tiger King, I no longer respect your movie going experience, your cinema knowledge. Like, I feel like quarantine made people watch this trash. And I told everybody I would watch 4 episodes. I watched 4. I'm not watching the other 2. I know what trash looks like when I see it. I don't need to see more of it. 1, I don't like documentaries. If anybody who knows me knows I don't like documentaries. I'm not a fucking fan. They're like, it's not a documentary. It's a fucking
Is it a mockumentary?
No, it's a documentary.
It's a documentary.
Okay.
It's a real documentary.
It's a documentary.
I knew not to watch it. I listen to podcasts where they break down documentaries. So I already knew not to watch that one.
Yeah, I wasn't informed not to. Everybody, oh, trust me, you'll like it. Well, trust me, you don't know me. I don't like that shit. It was I forced myself to watch 4 of them. By the end of the 4th, I was like, I get it, not into it. And then I went to bring my brain back up to an intellectual level. I watched season 3 of Ozark, and now I feel better because that shit was dope. I'm not sure if y'all have seen it yet. Have you seen season 3 yet?
Speaking of Ozark, I was really surprised Jason Bateman wasn't in Tag. It seemed like the movie he would usually be in.
Kind of. Well, I mean, between him, Ed Helms, like I said, the guy from New Girl, and then Jeremy Renner kind of playing the serious part. What role would
any of the other ones? But
he would just be there.
He would just be there. Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know the movie, but I know that he was in. Wasn't he in one of those other movies that we watched? That was, what is that movie? The one where they play the game?
Date Night.
Yeah,
not Date Night. Not Date Night. Game Night.
Game Night.
Yeah, which there's a part 2 coming, I was told.
Yes.
Which is good because the first one was dope.
Also, speaking of him in Ozark and not being in Tag and Game Night, whatever, he's also in, damn it, I just watched it and I already lost it. Oh, he's in The Outsider that I just started watching on HBO. Yo, first 2 episodes.
Partially his show. I was told I had to watch it. It's on my thing to watch it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was in I was watching Central Intelligence came on TV the other day with The Rock and Kevin Hart. And I realized how many people are in that are in shows that I'm watching right now. Like, he's in that. There's a bunch of people and like between that, Westworld, which I'm caught up on, and what's the other one? Kidding. I started watching Kidding with Jim Carrey.
Ah, nice.
I've been wanting to watch that. And here's how I can explain Kidding to people. It's like a combo between Me, Myself, and Irene and Joker.
Okay.
If you put those together, that's why Jim Carrey, he's like a producer on it. It's you're watching a guy's slow descent into madness.
Speaking of that, if you haven't seen The Outsider yet, it's a Stephen King novel.
Right.
And it's been directed by Bateman.
Well, I saw that it's his son's concept, isn't it?
I don't know what it is. I don't know whose concept besides Stephen King, but Jason Bateman is the director of it, which I was like, wow. I don't know if it's his first direction.
No. He directs most of Ozark.
Oh, I didn't realize that. It's excellent, man. It's excellent.
It's actually, I'm sorry, Lock and Key on Netflix. That's Stephen King's son. Stephen King's son.
I have to bring a drink. You guys finished talking about this?
Yeah,
sure.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I forgot to bring something to drink.
Lock and Key.
I'm a little.
You can get a drink. They can't see you.
You can leave the scene.
I haven't started yet, but yeah, Lock and Key on Netflix is Stephen King's son's project.
Is it? Gabriel Hill and what's? I guess I never thought about that because I have those comics. But I haven't watched the show because I haven't read the comics in a very long time. So I want to read them again, kind of get familiar again, and then check it out. But I didn't realize that was his son. I never thought about that. That's
his son's project, which makes me kind of want to watch it. And then the last show that I'm watching, before we ask Vel what she's caught up on, they almost lost me, man. and I'm not gonna kill it for you because I know you're not caught up yet. They almost lost me. The Walking Dead almost lost me. Some of the direction they're headed in is one of those. They should have let it go. I get how far the comic book goes, but they should have let it go a couple years back.
I told you when, what was it, last season when Rick left and then Carl died, or whatever part that was. I forget what came. I think Carl died and then Rick left. I told you that was the beginning of the end right there. At that point, they have to start heading in the direction to end it because you just lost the two main stars from the comic. Now from the show, where are you going to go from there?
The direction they're headed is kind of weird, but you know what kept me? I like the little things. They brought me in with my new TV crush, the beautiful Puerto Rican known as Princess. They brought in this girl named Princess, who's legit kind of crazy. Beautiful Puerto Rican girl. I've seen her in one episode because they went to like another fucking finale before the new finale, which is the last finale, whatever. She brought her in, and as I'm watching, I'm like, nope, I'm done with this shit. Hey, who's this? And then she's low-key kind of crazy. Dope. Princess is the reason why I'm going to finish this show out and write it out to the end.
You know, Shaun, I'm a little concerned about you being attracted to the crazy Spanish chick.
Let me explain something to you.
Show.
If you know your value, if you know what you like, apparently I like crazy. I'm attracted to crazy. A little bit of chaos in my life every now and then. I mean, I've spent the year, you know, balancing myself out. I got my chakras in lines. My aura is where it's supposed to be. I don't know if you can see it. Now, look, my aura looks great. Now, I'm ready for a little bit more crazy. Bring it back.
No, you see, you're getting too old for that. In a few days,
chaos.
In a few days, you will be too old for that little bit of chaos.
No, next year I'll be too old for this shit. I got one more year of chaos.
No,
40,
there is no more.
Nobody ever said 39 is too old for chaos. At 40, I'll stop. 39. Bring that shit.
All right.
All right. What do you watch,
Love, what did you watch? What did you catch up on? Or podcast or whatever?
So here's my thing. I am, like you said, still working.
True.
And because of the business that I work in, it has been crazy. So I don't get to catch up too much. However, on the weekends, when our child finally does take a nap, I get to binge things that I want to binge. So as Jay knows, my guilty pleasure are the CW superhero shows.
Because you're soft.
The crappy ones?
Hey, yo, keep. You like crazy. I like CW shows.
You like trash. I get it. Okay, so we'll just...
Whatever. I do like I like superhero, period. So, and there's not a lot of DC out there. So I like those shows. Anyway, so I was catching up on Arrow, and which is the darkest of them, really, of those shows, because
he used to kill people. Was the darkest of them.
I don't even watch Black Lightning.
Come on, you don't watch the one Black Cup? Yes. Damn.
I'm not caught up yet. I will catch up eventually, but it's not part of the same universe as the other ones.
Okay.
So here's my dilemma. Okay, so I was catching up on Arrow, super excited. Every year, all the shows that are in that same universe, they do a crossover episode. So we get to the crossover episode. I look up what order I'm supposed to watch these shows in, and Arrow's like number 5. So this is the one time a year I watch Supergirl and all those other ones because I don't watch all of them.
Right.
Go watch Supergirl. It's not on Netflix yet. Go to the CW site. The episode I want to watch doesn't come out. What?
Is it when it was still on CBS or?
No, it's from.
Started on a different network.
No, it's the most recent episode or the most recent season of Arrow. So it would be the recent season of Supergirl, but it's not on Netflix yet for some reason. So then I'm like, all right, I'll just go to the CW site. I'll watch it. Turns out it's not there either because they're about to re-air it. So I had to wait 2 weeks for them to re-air it, for it to pop back up on the CW site so that I could start watching my crossover episodes. And that was all the time I had for TV.
DC confuses me. DC has been confusing me for a while. DC, the one thing I can say about Marvel is consistency. Like, I understand like what they did with the Defenders. their individual shows and how they tied that in with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's brilliant to me. I feel like DC is like, we have two options. You can either make a movie or make a TV show that is built around teenage angst for these teenage kids. Everything on the CW, I feel like, is made for 17-year-old girls. Every superhero show they put on the CW is built around how do we get teenage girls to watch this show? Mm-hmm. Their medium is like that or kill fucking everybody. It's like dark as shit for 17-year-old teenage girls. There's no consistency. It's like you go watch Shazam and you're like, did this demon just murder everybody in front of my fucking kids? He did. In front of my kids. But when they get older, they'll just watch all the shows on CW. DC is, they don't, it's like, it's a shit show. The fact that they would say, here's the order to watch it in, however, that one you can't watch for another 2 weeks because that just screams DC to me. Does not surprise me at all.
I was so mad. I mean, because I've been working a lot. I'm the only person in the building most days, and, you know, nobody's around me and everything like that. I come check the mail and sign for packages and whatever. But it's, you know, I don't have binging time. So the fact that I took that time and couldn't finish.
What is the what is it now? Is it email? Like back when people would get mad and write letters to the network, you write angry emails now. Dear CW, who in the fuck do you think you are? I ain't got time for this. Wait till for 2 weeks. We are in quarantine.
You know, all these companies do the same shit with that because when It 2 was coming out, if you remember, I was trying to find it on HBO or whatever because I kept streaming it myself through Cinemax, whatever. And then because part 2 was coming, they took it off and put it for a paid rental. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me with that garbage. How you gonna do that to me when you've been letting me watch it for free all this time? Once you give something for free, then you start charging is when I stop buying or stop watching or stop listening. You know, it's like, it doesn't work that way.
You are telling that to a guy who is still waiting to watch a unpaid version of Fast 7 or Furious 7.
That's right.
That's right. I forgot.
They're like, would you like to see Fast and Furious 19? Not until 7 and 8 are free, motherfucker. No.
Yeah, you know what sucks about that is Hobbs and Shaw is pretty good, and you haven't seen it yet.
Nope, I'm not gonna watch it. I want to watch them in order, and I haven't watched from 7. I didn't see Paul Walker die, and I don't care about 9. No, it's fucking commercials until you show me 7 where I don't have to pay for it, and 8 when I don't have to pay for it. And
well, now that 9 is pushed back, we have a long time for that. But
back to gonna make it available.
Yeah, back to CW versus Marvel type stuff, or DC, I should say. I've been watching a lot of the Marvel cartoons with the baby girl, and I gotta say they are boring as hell. The dialogue, the action's good. The dialogue, that one, and I remember back to Spider-Man. X-Men was actually probably the better ones. The dialogue is so monotone and slow and boring that you know what I started using it for? To help her fall asleep. We're watching Avengers Assemble, and every time I put it on, she's out. She's out. And I'll watch the rest of the episode so I can go along with it. But hot damn. Only the new ones, only the Avengers, the Marvel Rising or Uprising with the younger characters or the newer characters that are a lot of girls.
Oh, yeah, those are really good on Disney+.
Yeah, those are the only ones that are exciting. Like, what's up with the boring-ass dialogue on these old shows? Like, come on. Anyway.
I think a lot of them were trying to, like, I like Ultimate Spider-Man. I still feel like on every episode of Ultimate Spider-Man, something good happens and it keeps you entertained throughout. Yeah. But a lot of the other ones, they're so focused on kind of trying to be like the comic books. Yeah. They want it to be as slow as you read it. If that makes sense. Yeah. So, because I mean, when you read a comic book, every page, you know, like, there's dialogue, and you read it, and they kind of slow it down for people to watch it like if they were kind of reading it.
Yeah.
Some of those you can tell are doing it that way to try to get kids back into comic books. So if they build the show around how the comic book will be read, then you'll be able to read it, and it's not, you won't expect action on every page.
I guess not.
But there's good ones, like you said, like X-Men, like Ultimate Spider-Man, that just go nonstop, that are meant for us, I guess, or adults. I don't know.
What about I don't know. Have you seen anything old that you've kind of seen in a different light because you got to rewatch it?
Aside from Liar Liar.
Okay.
Like Liar Liar, I want the people out in our OSP fam to know that Liar Liar is a movie about baby daddies. Don't think otherwise. That's what the fuck I learned. Dude, the end of Liar Liar, I shed a tear like Denzel in Glory. I'm just watching. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, Liar Liar is a tough one, man.
Liar Liar is a much tougher movie than you think when you're going through some shit. I'm watching Jim Carrey. I'm like, they're funny. Hold on. But, but you said he was a good dad, though. I'm watching this fucking hating on Jennifer Tilly. I'm like, you bright and Chucky, bitch. Like, why would you? Poker playing, bitch. Why would you take his kids, though? So, yeah, Liar Liar is when I went back and watched them. I'm probably never going to watch it again.
Okay. I got one for you. So I watched again recently Rocky IV.
Okay.
And I have watched all the Rockies numerous times. 3 is probably one of my favorites because they turn the tide with Apollo and they become friends, stuff like that. He trains that way. And Rocky IV, I remember, though, because we watched it a lot when I was a kid. It was around the time where I understood what was happening. You know, and I remember my babysitter at the time thinking Sylvester Stallone was so hot. He had his beard. He was ripped up and all that. So that's not the point of what I'm trying to make. The point I'm going to make right now, though, is Apollo Creed deserved to die. He deserved to die.
He didn't know when to let it go.
Not just that, but that asshole created a fake grudge with this guy who, you know, of course, it was through the Cold War and fight with Russia and all that. So I get that part. But he created this fake grudge just from seeing a video of this guy coming over to the States in an interview. And then goes into the ring with this juggernaut of a man. People don't remember. Dolph Lundgren is a beast.
He's a monster.
He's huge. And in the movie, he's a monster. Goes into the ring. James Brown. America hat.
Yep.
Shorts. James Brown put in his face. You know, live in it. And he's like in his face, dancing his face. And I got you. And it's like, all I can think is, oh, you about to die. Oh, you know what? No. You need to die for that bullshit because how do you do that to someone? This guy's going to come in and make a name for himself. And he's Russian. Not that usually has anything to do with it, but this is obviously Cold War status stuff going on right now.
Right.
He's going to come in and he's going to kill you. And that's what he does. And you know what? And Apollo Creed, he deserved to die. He deserved to die. Not maybe in that fashion because Rocky should have thrown that towel. Rocky should have thrown that towel. But my thing is, Apollo Creed, after getting his ass handed to him, the first round, talks about, don't you dare throw that towel. Why? Do you want to die in the ring? I think he had a death wish. He wanted to die in the ring as a boxing martyr for whatever bullshit-ass pride reason. You know what I say? I say this all the time. I say this all the time with each deadly sin that comes up a lot right now, right? Pride will get you every time. Pride will get you every time. It's like, what's your problem? Yo, are you serious? You're watching this guy come out with like the bull and James Brown? I mean, and granted, James Brown is amazing. I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, wow. At that point, he's 55. Or 50, 55, 57, 58, because he died, 2007 at the age of 75. So this is 20 years earlier. The man is, of course, we saw him live. So we know he was still amazing.
Yeah.
But I wish we would have seen him then because it was even better. And I was like, wow, this guy's incredible. But hot damn, man, Apollo Creed deserved to die.
Not only was Apollo Creed supposed to die, he, one, died the way he wanted, which is in the ring. He, two, definitely was a walking example of male, somebody who was up on top of the mountain, who was like, I just want a glimpse at that. He had that conversation with Rocky at the table, if I remember. Like, remember? Come on, Stallion.
Yeah.
Used to be the shit.
Yeah. Let it go, bro. Let it go.
Right? If he had known or been a good father and waited till his son grew up, he could have been his son's coach. Had he, you know what I mean? Who knew where that would have gone? He didn't. Yeah. He was caught up in his shit. And the part that I think about when I think about how he was, because I remember looking at that too, like, Dennis fucked up. He's going to rub it in this nigga's face, like, America, America, America. I saw that and was like, that's annoying. But you got to also realize, and I don't know if it was true in the movie, but Dolph Lundgren at that time was basically like a kid almost.
Yo, he was very young.
He was young as shit. So he's like a kid. He's got like, this female.
I think at most probably mid to late 20s in that film. I have to look it up.
I'm going to say early. I'm going to say early 20s.
Well,
his character was younger.
I don't know. Maybe his character, but yeah, because he's the amateur champion. So you're
exactly.
right.
So he's like a kid. He's got this female handler who's fucking Red Sonja, who's this female handler, and they're basically sheltered this kid and only taught him shit. So all he knows is to hurt people. And now you're talking about a grown man jumping in some kid's face who doesn't know any better. He was absolutely gonna kill fucking Apollo. Because if you go to any Russian kid who's been through some shit, you in the face like, hey, America, you piece of shit. You're gonna get shot in the face or the shit knocked out of you. Because that's what it was. So I like that he was a kid. Apollo lost his mind, threw it in his face, and the movie ends with them showing him, well, here's how we do it in Russia, motherfucker. I liked it. I like that they showed both sides. Vel, is there a movie or show that you haven't, I think you're muted, a movie, or we're muted on your side, a movie or show that you haven't, that you just recently watched, that you haven't watched in a minute, that you watch differently?
I feel differently about?
Make you feel some type of way?
You know, there was one, and I can't remember what it was.
Was it Liar Liar?
No, no. It was, Brown Sugar.
Oh.
I watched Brown Sugar recently.
When? Without me?
So, first of all, let me tell you how things work in our house.
No, don't do that. Just go on to what you're talking about.
And that's
our daughter will only do certain things with me. So, like, she will be exhausted and hanging with daddy, and with very few exceptions, will then need to be with me. So if she's trying to go to bed or whatever, and it's taking a while to put her down, she just needs to be in a dark room with me. So Juan has to go into another room and turn off the lights, and like there be no activity for her to finally wind down.
Right.
There are a lot of times that because of that, he'll fall asleep, and then I'm wide awake because I haven't had the chance to wind down yet. So the other night I was watching Brown Sugar because it came on something. And
one network, Oprah's network. Oh, Tyler Perry presents BET 7. What was the network? It don't matter. Go ahead.
And it was the relationship between Taye Diggs and his wife hit me different now.
I can see that. Anything that has to do with marriage at this point,
getting
for
a
both of
divorce.
us is going to
He was like, yeah, it hit different. It hit different now. But again, the thing I watch the most right now, unfortunately, is the news. I am quite well versed on the Andrew Cuomo show.
And Chris Cuomo.
And the Chris Cuomo hour. But yeah, but that hit differently, especially at like midnight.
I am going to add that to my list of shit to not rewatch anytime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't watch that.
Too close to home. There you go. Got it. Word.
You got that down?
I got it down. So let's take a break real quick. We'll come back and tell people some of the projects we're working on. We're going to take a break. If you're listening to the podcast, keep your ears open. If you're watching, keep your eyes open. Some dope shit's about to happen. All right? What is up, OSP fam? It's your boy, Sean Q.
J. Roman.
We are doing our first ever giveaway. We are currently at 1,800 downloads for our Old School Perspective podcast. We want to get to 2,500, but we need your help. So, how can I help?
We would like you to listen to the podcast, repost this video, and tag us to enter our giveaway.
Yes. And tell them what they'll win. Once we get to 2,500 downloads, you will get an unopened vinyl copy of Tupacalypse Now. We talk about Tupac all the time. Show in the back. All the time. One of the dopest albums ever made. You will get this. All you have to do is repost this video and share with your friends. Get us to 2,500 downloads. All right? Keep it old school.
Peace.
And we back. So we're dealing with our OSP quarantine right now. We got Veltria Roman joining us. Jay's at home. I'm at home. She's at the office. We're all doing our thing. People want to know what are some of the projects that we are all currently working on. We got what projects have we been working on in times of quarantine? And now, Vel, I know you're still working, so you don't really have time for side projects.
My daughter and I have been sewing masks and sending them to the family.
Oh,
you have one coming in the mail.
Excellent, because I was just gonna roll around with a bandana and scare the fuck out of people.
Yeah, you're a black man, so I have made it, animated so that people can not be threatened by you.
I just want to put a bandana on and walk into a bank and collect my money, because at what other time during society can you do that?
No.
Just stand there with one hand in my pocket, just like, yeah, I'm here to just make a withdrawal. That's all.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about all of it is she's right. We've been watching a lot of the news. Chris and Andrew Cuomo are quite something, especially together when they interview each other. It's pretty funny. But it's crazy. The world out there right now, I'm seeing at least, I gotta say, like 75% of people wearing a mask. No matter
well, they're making it mandatory now.
Oh yeah, true. They're making it mandatory, but people are even doing it, and I think I said this before, even when they're driving, like with no one else in the car. I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like,
but in San Bernardino County, and the CDC is saying put it on when you step out of your house, and it says it should be worn when driving. Yeah, I don't know why it makes sense, but I'm just so saying that that's what they say.
It's just so weird. But anyway.
I can't do it. I was on the phone with Moms the other day, and I'm walking, and I take walks up and down the neighborhood. I got my headphones on. She was like, "Are you wearing a mask, son?" I was like, "No." In order for somebody to get me sick, me to get somebody sick, while I'm outside at 9 o'clock at night and we walk by each other, they would have to cough directly into my mouth and the wind not blow it out the way. Like, you know how hard it is for me to get sick if I'm outside?
Do you know how far a cough travels before it lands?
Yes.
While the wind's blowing?
It can,
yes.
it can go far, but if there's no one else outside, you're probably okay. So
right, you'd have to walk by me and be like, "Excuse me, sir," to get me to, like, that's no. And if that happens, I'm gonna murder that person. So no, I'm not worried about it. But I expect my mask in the mail. Jay, what projects you working on? What are you working on, man?
Man, you know what? I got to get into some programming stuff. What I've been doing is just really, I got to get into some programming. I got some ideas to put something together, and right now is the time. So I'm cleaning up the house in places I haven't cleaned before. So keeping stuff
behind a refrigerator.
Exactly. Pulling out the stove, type stuff like that. Washing things that have probably been sitting at the bottom of the bin for who knows how long. Trying to stay active, but not just trying to keep sane, really. Here's the thing with me. I'm okay being home. I'm okay being home, watching TV, maybe working out a little bit while I'm watching, cleaning up while I'm watching, putting some music on. I put on some music earlier, which I got to say, I kind of hate Spotify. I'll tell you why in a second. But I got to say, it's also been very rainy the last couple of weeks, as you know.
So right now.
In Southern California, yeah, it's raining right now as we speak. It rained yesterday. It rained the day before. I think we had a break Sunday. It rained Saturday, Friday, Thursday. It rained. It's been raining for 2 weeks. so we get out as much as we can. But also, when it comes to going out with Brooklyn, we don't even go around the block. But the 2 days I've had her from daycare this week so far, once last week, once this week, we went to a park. And it has just this little open area where we can run around. So we've been running around.
Like in a circle?
In a circle, and then line to line, like sprints. And so what's cool is it's a basketball court. So
you got our daughter doing drills.
She wants to run. She's like, "I want to run." I'm like, "Okay, go run to that line." And so she's like, "Okay." But then there's this circle. It's a basketball court. So in the middle of the court is the circle, the jump ball circle.
Yeah.
So I have her hop over each line. So I'm trying to wear her out. Unfortunately now, though, the other day, and I wanted to get a basketball because I saw it was still open. They have now tied up the nets. That was as of yesterday when I went. The nets are tied up, so you can't play ball, which anyone smart enough can go up there with a ladder, take it off the net, and just go netless. But as I drove by today, I noticed there's caution tape now over the little bit of entrance that it had to get into the little court. It's one court with 2 half courts on the other side. So now we can't even go into there legally, I guess you could say. Because it's supposed to be technically closed, but since it was open, they had no blockage.
Right.
So I'm just trying to stay active with the baby because I have her a lot right now. So that's one thing. She does not allow for a lot of other things to happen without her. So I can only clean if she's not here. I can only do certain things if she's not here.
Right.
Or if she takes a nap, then I can maybe jump on a computer or whatever. But a lot of times, like I said, I turn on the TV a little bit after we run her around and she falls asleep. And then I have to kind of like sneak away from her. I have to like kind of slowly edge myself away from her so she doesn't wake up too much and then goes back to sleep. But that's it, man. That's it. Just trying to keep my ear to the street, keep my ear to the stocks. Pay attention to the news. My fam in New York, I've been in more contact with them recently, which is good. And they seem to be, I got a couple frontline healthcare workers, in my family. And they're showing us, they sent pictures today, as a matter of fact. I'm talking geared up, head to toe, full on, gas mask type shit going on, because they're out there doing their thing and they have essential jobs. And either they're doing the every other day furlough type thing, one that works in a nursing home, I know for sure. He's going to work pretty much every day. So I got a brother who has a driving pass. He has basically a laminated permit that says he's allowed to drive to and from, because he works at like a plastics factory or something like that. So he has a key to the city, he calls it. So I mean, that's it. Keeping in contact and keeping sane. Really, I'm good.
I've been working on something. It's one of those things where I tell people, if you ever had projects, you're like, man, if I only had time to work on this, I'm trying to take advantage of all of those. I've been quarantining since my accident last year, so this is nothing to me. And so I get to pick up these projects. I'm working on one right now that I'm gonna say a little bit about. I don't want anybody to steal my idea, but I'm working on the gamer workout, which I kind of told you last time. And it's a workout for gamers, not to get you shredded, but to keep you active while you're gaming, because a lot of gamers are out of shape, male and female. So something just to get your heart kind of moving a little bit while you're gaming, so you can say, well, yesterday I played games for this long, but I worked out as well. So you're kind of in shape. I'm working on that, and then I have a new band concept that I've been working on with a friend of mine. And it's not like to make new music. It's a new cover band kind of concept, and it's so far it's coming off dope. So when I come out of this, I'm gonna have music that I've been working on. I'm gonna have a new workout regimen that I'm gonna try to put out there in the world, and a few other things. So you know me, I multiple projects at all times. So this is no different. I actually, when people are like, well, you don't have anything to do, actually, I got something to do every day. Every day I'm working on something that I should have been working on before. Finishing a song, finishing a story that I started. We still got some stuff we got to finish up that we started talking about years ago. Remember our James Brown project? Now we got to work on that. We ain't going to say much into it. We got to work on that because I feel like it would be dope. We got to get that shit to Netflix or something like that.
For sure.
As I was gonna ask about our job statuses, but you know, Vel's still working, so her job status is that she is now the queen of the building. Is that what your job? Queen in the castle, queen in the castle.
So because of my position, what I'm over our ticketing and IT, so I have to make sure that everybody can connect from home. So, you know, if they have any problems or if there's any like blackouts or anything from all the rain and stuff, I have to come in, I have to turn the computers back on. I have to make sure that things are still connected. And unfortunately, we're doing a lot of refunding. You know, events got canceled and somebody has to make sure that people get their money back, or else they won't come back when we can have stuff again. So, yeah, I'm still working. One of the few allowed in the building. We're trying to keep the social distancing, you know, so that the people who are here are not being exposed to more because we have to come in for whatever reason. But, you know, and it's good for my marriage.
Time apart is definitely good, because if you spend a lot of time in each other's faces, you're going to want to get the fuck out of each other's faces. You do the Kevin Hart. I can't do it if you're in my face.
But you know, it's been nice because then, you know, on the weekends for the first time in a long time, like I can just really just be focused at home, and we try to do as much as we can do with her. Yeah. So that's my work status.
I am joined by at least 10 million others in the country who are in the food and beverage service industry.
That's all that's in the, what? That's it?
As far as those of us who have applied for unemployment, it's been like 10 million people.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, we all have gotten laid off.
Yes.
From our jobs. So there's organizations out there, like I know the Bartenders Guild, people like companies like Jameson and stuff like that are donating to this to help bartenders try to make some kind of money. Yeah. The problem is, because there's so many of us, it's hard to get the funds situated and then dispersed properly. Yeah. So like I remember I filled out a thing like the first day I got laid off. They were like, you know, try the Bartenders Guild. I filled out something. I've gotten 3 emails, but no, I don't think any money has actually gone out to anybody yet. So we're all trying to do OnlyFans things and, you know, give fellatio online. We're all just out there. So if you have a favorite bartender, check to see if they got like an OnlyFans page or something. They might be doing some shit you never thought they'd be doing. The struggle is real.
With spurs?
Right? I mean, I asked my roommate, he's a manager at House of Blues. And so, you know, he has a job, and a lot of them, House of Blues is taking care of their employees. So they're keeping a lot of them paid even though they're not at work, which is dope, because most of us work for like mom and pop places who can't afford to do it. We just get laid off, and when they find out, we find out type things. But I was telling them, I don't know if when this is over, if it's going to be a good thing for bartenders or a bad thing. A good thing in that, like, I know I'm good at what I do, and I know what I bring to the table. I know I'm going to have a seat at the table. I just don't know which table it's going to be.
Yeah.
And there's tons of people who either have just been bartending for a couple years or bartending for 40 years and need to hang it up that might not be able to go back to work when this happens.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these companies and these mom and pop places are starting over. They're taking this as a clean slate. Like, cool. We want to get rid of Cheryl's ass for years. Now we just won't tell that bitch to come back. And
I said that when this first started happening, I'm like, a lot of places are going to clean out their staff that they don't want.
They're going to clean house, and it's going to suck for a lot of people who've been doing it and have just been coasting by, and they've just been like, well, I don't want to promote myself on social media. I've been here too long, and why the fuck I got to get why do I got to get surveys? Well, now you don't have a job. Now we wish we could tell somebody, hey, if you like my service, go ahead and fill out this survey. If you do, you get a free appetizer. People are going to be begging for that shit at one point, because now we understand, like I said, if there's any lesson that can be learned from any tragedy ever, the one lesson that can always be learned is appreciation. And people have more of an appreciation for shit that we used to complain about before. Any tragedy that happens to you, the best thing you can look at is like, well, you know what? I appreciate this. I learned to appreciate that more. You should see these memes that people are putting up. Like, man, I wish that little fucking printer ticket would go off that. Man, we're losing our minds. But if we hang in there, I guess this is the time to work on your crafts, work on your art. Learn some new drink recipes. Be ready to, when you go back, whether you're going back to your job or you have to interview somewhere else, tell them what you bring to the table. Don't let this time go by and be like, I didn't do shit with 3 months of my life. Sorry, take me as I am. No, you can't have that, because there's motherfuckers out there either learning how to do your job or they found a way to do your job without you. There's somebody they always wanted to come over and now you don't have a job. So work on your shit, get better at it, because the world's going to look a lot different for bartenders in a couple months. It's going to be weird, but I'm ready for it.
Start working on those craft cocktails if you don't know how to do them.
Right? Layer or something, set some shit on fire. I don't know. Do what you got to do. Be able to mix a drink with your titty or something. Do something that you can bring to the table. Can I ask y'all this? Because we all tap into social media on occasion. We check the OSP page. So when this first happened, when it first broke, I felt like the memes and the videos were OP. Like, they were coming out. They were funny. People were coming up with some creative new shit. I feel like after 2 months, we've got to the point now where it's just recycling the old shit from 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's as funny as it was anymore when you see it 400 times after everybody reposted.
Part of it is from 2 months ago, we had maybe a dozen deaths, if any, whereas now we have over 15,000 in our country, and nearly 500,000 infected that we know of that they haven't. Right. So it becomes less funny, So I think maybe some of it is people are being cautious about what they put out there, because before 2 months ago, people were taking it as a joke, because you had people like,
it was like, oh, it's a cold.
Yeah, it's a cold. And we were saying something similar. The flu kills a lot of people each year. This is like a cold. And not that that's still not true, but you had people, even like the president, calling it a hoax, which is just ridiculous. A disease is a disease. So it's becoming less funny. Like, I've thought of plenty of probably rude or inappropriate jokes regarding the virus, but they're not cool to say.
Right. They
just aren't, because people are dying out there. New York City itself has probably after today, almost 9,000 deaths. You know what I mean? As of this morning, granted, this episode's not going to air for a few days, but they had 799 deaths yesterday. So it is like, it's not funny anymore.
Right.
When I got my fam showing me pictures that they're in full gear because they're still working, and we're out here in where we live, and we're pretty sheltered. There's not a lot of activity out there. People got this message very seriously out here in Southern California, right? So some did and some didn't. We're going to speak on that a little bit, but we still can't take it for granted. So I can't take it for granted by putting out these silly things I'm thinking of, or jokes or dumb shit sayings that are going to really hurt a lot of people, because that's not right. Because I'm okay doesn't mean, I can make light of the situation, because 500,000 people in our country are infected, or more than that, actually, because they haven't even tested all the kids.
Well, I will say that the funny memes are the ones about the parents who are homeschooling their kids.
These parents are losing their minds. That's for damn sure.
And the ones that the teachers post, like, oh, so you don't like your kid, huh? Turns out.
The piece of shit.
You know, so those are only jokes that I can even say at this point are funny, because now it's like, oh, it's not even like, oh man, that's not right, I shouldn't be laughing at this. It's like, oh no, that's not funny anymore. That kind of thing.
Right. I feel like the ones that you can relate to are the ones that are kind of funny. Like I said, as a bartender, we'll see somebody's like, I did inventory on my house today, and apparently my liquor costs is through the roof. Shit like that. Like that's still funny. And it's I mean, in times like this, you kind of have to laugh, especially because there are tons of people out there who I said before are not equipped emotionally and mentally to deal with a quarantine, or you can't be around people. Yeah. There's some people who are just they can't follow it. And you say, look, stop having fucking parties. A friend of mine, Lance, who's in Vegas, he was dating this girl, and he stopped dating her because she had a fucking pool party for her birthday, like last week, with like 50 people at a pool party. And he was like,
no.
He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? She's like, well, she said, oh, this is so good. She goes, well, I've been on this earth for 26 years, so I think I know a thing or two. Oh my. Yeah, you're 26. You know everything. Yeah. And he's like, look, I can't do this because you are endangering people. What you're doing is not fucking smart. Like that you're just being selfish.
You know, the point of that is Cuomo said it today, and a lot of people have said it already over the times, is that this isn't about you. It's not about me. It's about the others you maybe infect. Right. My mother is nearly 60 years old. She has underlying conditions.
Right.
If I bring it to her, whether I actually show symptoms or not, or think I'm sick or not, it could be living on my sleeve. It could be living on my hands. It could be living on a bag I give her, because right now I'm looking at things to buy her for groceries or something like that she might need to drop off. It's not about me. It's about who I might make sick. It's about my daughter when I'm home. It's about my wife when she's home. It's about what's going on out there. There are a lot of people who don't give a crap.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we got to make sure that we do our part to protect ourselves, because it's not about if I get sick or not. If I get sick or not, I think I can handle it. Again, my body's never seen this virus. Who the hell knows?
Right.
People of all ages, all health ranges dying. So it's like, I'm not trying to bring it to somebody, and I'm trying not to get it myself, because you don't know who you'll get it from or who you'll give it to. You could kill somebody. You could kill somebody. Plain and simple. This is something you could kill somebody, as if you walked into the house and shot them with a gun. It's the same shit. You walk in the house, you give them coronavirus, they could die if they have an issue. Or they could just die, period, because even healthy people die, because sometimes the body just can't handle something like this.
What happened at the park?
No.
Speaking of that.
Yeah, just speaking about people who just don't seem to care or take this seriously. It's been almost 2 weeks now, right, babe? Since that happened?
Yeah.
We went to the park. My sister was going to run her dog around, and I was just going to play with Bubbles with Brooklyn. Open area, open grass. We figured it's a big enough park that we will be away from people. We get there. The first thing we see is this group of young adults. They weren't teenagers. They were young adults having a picnic on like 2 blankets all huddled together. There was 13 of them. And this is when it was like, don't gather 10 or more. There's 13 of them. And then they're like, hey, come on, look, come bring your dog. I was like, no. So I'm getting nervous. I'm so happy Brooklyn's sleeping. She slept through the park because we would have got there and I would have been like, you can't get out.
Right.
So I just went to walk with the dog and my sister, and we're socially distanced. We're trying to have like a 6 foot away from each other conversation as we walk, and we go to this other part of the park, and there's just groups and groups of people. And I just felt so nervous. I told her, I was like, I'm sorry, I have to go because I am still coming into the office. No, I'm not encountering a lot of people. And yes, we are very spread apart. The reason I'm able to record right now is because everybody else works on a different floor that might come in, and they don't stop in my office. We don't sit and, chit chat. If we talk, we call each other from the other offices, because we are trying to be respectful of each other in that way. So to be in a place where people just didn't even seem to care. And yes, it maybe was almost 2 weeks ago now, or a week and a half ago. So maybe they're taking it more serious now. But that's why even the basketball court has to be, cordoned off, because people aren't taking it serious. And then we're stuck with our kid in the house.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if you remember, Love, at the same park, the same day where that party was, not party, where that group of kids was, or I call them kids because they were young. Like I said, so younger, they could have been some late teens, but they were definitely like late teens, early 20s. There was a group cleaning up the party that they just had. I'm talking balloons and people. Cleaning up, putting stuff back in the truck, getting ready to leave, because they stopped and talked to Veronica and Veltria for a little bit about what they're doing, walking around, stuff like that, making friends. But it's like, yo, did you just did you just have a party?
They tried to talk to me, and I just kept walking. So this lady, Veronica's trying to socially distance herself from the lady who's talking to her, and I am 12 feet away. No, more than that, because I was at the car, and they were 3 cars ahead of us. And the lady was like, "Okay, bye, sister." And I was like, "Yep, bye." I'm staying over here.
The real question and test for all this is going to be, how do we resume life? You know what I mean? Because this is very different. And we have to go into I'm going to call it new world, a different way. Because these epidemics that turn into pandemics, they cycle. You know what I mean? This is just this one. And we haven't got a vaccine. It's going to be a long time. Who knows how it's going to look for the next few months, and then next year when it comes back around in the colder weather, because it always does.
I don't know. I know groups, everybody's going to, once you get permission to be back in a group, it's got to be guidelines to it. You can get back in groups, but no more than 10 or something like that. But that's going to affect everything. Music, concerts, sporting events, all that shit. It's all changing dramatically. The world is not going to be the same next year as it was last year.
Nope.
It's going to be very different, and it's hard for people to understand. It's hard for a lot of people to understand guidelines and rules. And listen, you can't do that. I'm not going to say especially white people, but especially white people. Those who are being told, you don't do that. You can't tell me what to do. You can't do that. Don't do that. It's I don't know. It's going to be a weird world. But before we start wrapping it up, the thing that I've been pulling from this, that I've been telling everybody is, like I said, you got projects, work on them. But personally, I know I like that Vel said, the fact that she's in the office and you have more time with Diva is it helps your marriage. So what I ask everybody is, how do you plan to come out of this better than you went in? What are you working on to make yourself a better person than you were? Because the way I figured, when this ends, there are 2 variations that can come out of you. One that got worse or one that got better. Now, when I say got worse, I mean you got lazier, you stopped trying as much, you just well, why bother? Fuck it. Or did you come out of it more motivated to do something with a different outlook on life, with a different appreciation? So, like I was telling Jay the other day, one of the things I've been doing is I know it takes 21 days to build a habit. So I've been working on 4 habits that I've been trying to get built up, so that when this ends, I'm in the habit of doing these things. So developing a better habit, still doing my prison workouts in the room, but I just want to come out of this better than I went into it. You know what I mean? And I want that for everybody. I want everybody, I want a new conversation to build when we come out of this. So before the quarantine, you were like this. After quarantine, what did you change about yourself? What did you work on that made you better? So what can you both say that you did or that you're working on, so that when the quarantine ends, I am better at this than I was when I went in. I worked on this. I can braid my hair better than I did before. I talk to my kid differently than I did before. What is it? I'm going to start with Jay, because you look confused and I want to throw you on the spot. What's something when you come out of this, you can say, I came out better because I did this differently?
I saved money because I eating less takeout.
Nice.
It became a habit that if I'm tired after work, and granted, it could kind of easily get back into it. Oh, I'm not going to cook because I don't feel like cooking. So I'm going to go buy this cheap meal that's probably going to be little to no nutritional value, or maybe at least some protein or whatever, and eat that. So not only, granted, Veltria and I have a different take on it. I call it wasting money. She calls it overspending. Okay.
Same shit. Potato, dildo.
Sure. So, but I get that because overspending on takeout definitely was hitting the wall a little bit. I know, you look at it and you're like, damn, I want to go get that meal. It's $5. The $5 could have been eggs and bread. I got a meal for a whole week. You know what I mean? That's like, and so with that also though, it reminds me that doing that and being very conscious about what's already in my fridge and not looking for other food because I crave it. I can make something similar at home. I've already lost a few pounds. You know what I mean? So I'm on a good track there. So just a reminder, like we don't need to spend all that money on takeout food because we want it that day. We can make really good food at home that's similar to takeout, and we just get so busy. We just get so busy now. We have the munchkin and it's just like, oh my gosh. But it's a good reminder that, we still can take the time out and do some things to make it at least easier at home to deal with in that way.
I like it. Vel?
I'm really good at taking care of other people. So I am spending this time trying to remember to take care of myself.
Nice.
I had a really good conversation with my uncle this morning. And one of the things I have learned is that when you are in prison, you have the opportunity to see things through a different light. And so he just broke down some knowledge for me to make me see things through a different light, of not taking on other people's stuff during this time. Like you can still take care of them, you can still be there for them, but not shouldering it. And that gave me a different outlook, which made me feel like, all right, because that's going to be what I need to do to continue to keep going. I have a lot of projects right now here at work, and I have a lot of stuff going on, and I have to be responsible for that. I can't also then shoulder other people's junk.
Right.
I can help them through it. I can talk them through it. I can do whatever I can in that way, but I can't carry it.
I just want to say something on that note real quick. And I've thought about this, especially in the last year or so. It's so funny. There's a misconception that when people get out of prison or you talk to people who did time, that they're ignorant because they've been cut off from the world. If somebody gets out of jail or out of prison, they've been doing a decent amount of time, take the 5 minutes it takes to listen to something, because this person has been trapped between 3 walls and a bar with mainly themselves, which means they have a deeper thinking of just themselves than most people who've never done time ever have. So if you've never been forced to have self-realization or think about shit you never had to think about before, take the extra time to listen to this motherfucker. Some of it will be gibberish because the slang might be off because they've been there since the 70s and call me a jive turkey. But the point could be important. Like there's tons of people who aren't forced to look at themselves in a different light, to have everything shut off to you. No social media, no friends to talk to, just you and these 3 walls and some bars where you have to think about what type of person you are. You get a deeper meaning and deeper realization about yourself. A lot of people have not been forced or exposed to that. So just take the time to listen to them. Be like, you know what? I can apply that in my life. Stop treating prisoners who get out like they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They know a lot more than you think because they've had time to think about themselves as a person. A lot of people don't get to do that shit. Shout out to your uncle. I ain't gonna say his name. You just put some money in his books. I think we got to wrap it up. I know.
Wait.
Oh, yes.
I have a what the shit moment.
That's right. We didn't do one last time. Do we do our own little? I know Dentrimental is gonna throw it in there. So we're gonna do what the shit is this?
Oh my gosh! So I was on the interwebs, reading up on things. That's where my time in between things at work, I'm like, oh, I don't have time to do this thing, but what I do have time to do is read a quick article.
Right.
And CJ McCollum estimates, this article I read said, CJ McCollum estimates that 1/3 of NBA players are living paycheck to paycheck and are suffering during this time of unemployment. Now I need to put this into perspective.
Please do.
In 2018, the lowest salary in the NBA was $838,464. In 2019, it's $898,310. Most of those players that are coming into the NBA for the first time are coming from close to nothing. How do you go from close to nothing to over $800,000 a year and live paycheck to paycheck and not be able to survive this time? I understand that when you make more money, you adjust your living.
Right.
But to adjust to a point where you can't afford to not play for a couple of months is really, really troublesome.
I think he means that their paychecks are higher than ours. They just
I'm
paycheck to paycheck, but it's a big ass paycheck.
I'm picking this one up a little bit. So, two things. That's called, of course, mismanagement of the money, and I'm gonna tell you like E40 did. You don't buy an $85,000 car before you buy a house, and that's what these cats are doing. They're coming from nothing, and then they blow the whole wad, and then they have no way to recoup it or invest it the right way, or they give it to too many people. Or like what you said, how you're learning or you're trying to not take on other people's stuff. They're taking on too many people's stuff, trying to pay for everyone's bills. It's just like an airplane. When you get that money, take care of yourself first. Put on your mask. Kind of, no pun intended with the coronavirus stuff. And then help the person next to you put on their mask. That's how you do it. I don't know what these cats are doing, making nearly $900,000 a year, living paycheck to paycheck, but they need to shape that up because that's ridiculous. Go get yourself a single family home, 3 bedrooms, if you have kids, whatever, cheap car, property, that's it. Buy your groceries, get them delivered, whatever you got to do. You're getting paid, and it's not even a whole year. NBA season is what, 8 months? If you make it to the playoffs, you're getting paid $900,000. You're in $100,000 a month. I want some of that. I know what I can do with that. Granted, I'd pay off a lot of bills, but I would take care of myself first and then start helping others. And I think that's what's happening. They're taking care of too much at once, kind of like Hammer did back in the day. $10 million down to zero, down to bankruptcy because he helped out too many people. Granted, he recovered, but still, you know what I mean? It's like, come on.
I'm gonna flip that coin and show you the other side of this. I think a lot of these kids who are athletes and they've been groomed to be athletes, and they're like, once you get in this league, you're paid. You're gonna have this much money, so on and so forth. They say you are going to be paid. What they don't do, like you said, is show you how to manage said money. So you're talking about kids who come out of college, for the most part, come out of college, they can't stay at the dorm anymore. They were staying wherever they were staying before they got this money, whether that's with their parents or whatever. A lot of kids are coming from poor spots. And the thing is this, look, let's pick Johnny Washington. Johnny Washington, you live in a dirty part of Ohio. Your family's broke. You went to a good college on a scholarship. You just got signed to the NBA. You're about to get an $838,000 contract for the first year to see how well you play. That's a lot of money. Here's what comes with that. Now you have to get your family out of that fucking neighborhood. First and foremost, because if people know you have money, they're going to want fucking money, which falls into that category of helping other people. All these people you grew up with were like, yo, man, you big time now. You know, can I get some of it? You know, let me be your manager. But yo, let me help your entourage. So you got those cats you got to deal with. Then you got your family you're trying to get out of this predicament. So, and you're not just buying a house if you're in California or something like that for $800K. If you are, it's a nice house, and then you're broke and you're not working. So you're coming into a lot of money. You're not showing how to use that money. But at the same time, you've never had money like this before. So the first thing you want to do is fix everything that's wrong in your life with this money. And if you do that immediately, then yes, you were broke right away. You might have a decent place to live. You might have a reasonable car. You might be away from the motherfuckers who might rob you of your shit because they know you have money now. But automatically you're back to broke. And if you're not playing another year or your second year contract hasn't kicked in, that's how you can go from no money to a lot of money to paycheck to paycheck. Is if you give the average person you know that is broke as shit right now $1 million and check back with them in 2 months to see how much they have and how much they spent, the average person is not investing that money. The average person is not taking that money and trying to flip it and make it span out for months and months. The average broke person is like, cool, I got old bills I got to pay. I want a new house. I want a new car. I want to get my kids this. I want to do all that. And 3 months from then, they're broke because nobody showed them how to manage that money. And the person who is going to show them is going to fucking charge them. So they got to pay that person too. When these kids get signed to these leagues, they got to get agents. They got to get people who can control their social media so they don't say dumb shit online. They got to have somebody who takes like all this shit. They have to pay these people. And you can go from broke to rich to broke like that. Now, the old cats are the ones that bother me, like guys who are on veterans minimums. Like if you're a Vince Carter ain't broke. He's been in the league for a long time. He knows how to make that shit stretch. But it took him years to get to that point. Not everybody is LeBron James, so when you come in, you can call Michael Jordan. You can call up Magic and be like, hey, how do I make my money stretch? Not all of them are like that. Tons of these guys don't know anybody, and they're not getting help on how to manage their money, and it sucks.
I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt with that argument. I will say that the article was not specifically, it was actually talking about a lot more not first-time players.
But not big names though, right? But not like not Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard's not broke. You know what I mean? Like Carmelo.
It didn't name names.
It didn't specify.
They can't name names.
It's just saying it's a third of the league.
That it's a problem in the league. And I agree. But I mean, they can't watch HBO and see that, like, you know, ballers, and know that this is like part of what happens. I mean, do I need to write curriculum and make it a mandatory class for college athletes?
Let's give you.
Is that my new project?
I mean, yes, and it would sell because they currently don't teach it. Most of these kids who go to these schools go off scholarships, and a lot of them are like, yeah, I got a business degree, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a vet after this. But most of them are like, this sport is my life. All I know is this sport. And when I go to this college and I make this college this much money, the one thing they don't invest in is life for me outside of this sport. Mm-hmm. So I've dedicated my life to playing this sport. I made this college a bunch of money doing it. Now I got in the league, which a lot of people don't. Now I got a bunch of money. How can I spend this money? At no point in time is even the league. I feel like it's more the league, less the college, more the league. The minute you have a player come in, you should make it mandatory. Before you step foot on a court, a field, a pool, whatever the shit, you have to take this class that teaches you how to manage your money. Because if you were a league who cared about your players and it wasn't a fucking slave drive, that's the first thing you would do is tell people, here's how you manage all this money you just came into. Be smart. Now go play. They don't do that. The leagues don't mandate, here's how you can stay wealthy, because they don't want you to stay wealthy. They want
but isn't that the role of the Players Association or something? Like, shouldn't they, don't you?
Should be.
I mean, I don't know. Anyway.
Should be. They care about getting athletes more money and certain fair practices, because there's so much wrong happening in these leagues. That's the one thing they don't focus on is, hey, I know you've been playing for like 3 years. You just came over from Australia, welcome back. How are you managing your money? They don't really put that time in.
I know.
If they did, I guarantee it would be less than a third of the league that was paycheck to paycheck. It's just nobody's showing them how to manage their money. The people who are the money managers are like, cool, you make 858. I'm going to just need like 12% of that, and I'll show you how to manage your money. Now, when you're living paycheck to paycheck, that dude still wants to get paid. You didn't learn how to manage shit.
That I get. One little closing note on it. 1/3 of the league is 150 players. That's 150 millionaires that live paycheck to paycheck, which still sounds insane regardless of what the hell's going on with them.
I agree.
They're richer than us. So on that note, we are going to wrap it up. That was our What the Shit. Any final words? We want to thank Vel for joining us. You got final words for the people, Vel? Say something impactful.
I hope that you're watching this, because I'm wearing a really awesome t-shirt, because I felt like a queen today. I am wearing a Cuckoo Chanel t-shirt, who is my queen. Check her out on Instagram, Miss Cuckoo Chanel. And stay safe. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. And remember that your actions today really impact the health of the people you're around.
Agreed. Jay, say something impactful. Profound.
Learn something. Be smarter. Be safer out there. Remember, it's not about you. It's about all of us.
I got something. The pit bull is the black man of the dog world. Until next time, I'm Shaun Q. Be smart.
Jay Roman.
We out.
Peace.
Peace.